Hi, so this is the last video in my video series about a toddler reading program that's about one of the milestones. And this one is actually about a preschool milestone because it shows how everything comes together and is the last milestone where your involvement really matters. And it's preschool milestone 8. There's lots of preschool milestones. They're these short little ones in the early 3s that happen kind of one after the other. It's at 3 years, 5 months. And I called it integrates principles. So in the early 3s, the child is understanding principles about how the world works. Most of them are social principles, like you stop at stop signs and that type of thing. And they love to understand it and take part in it. And the one for integrates principles, first of all, the 3 years, 5 months one is a pretty hard one to deal with. My daughter would just cry and just become very clumsy. It was a very hard one. But by integrate principles, I mean they can take two separate things that they understand and put them together into something better. So for instance, my daughter would say red is 1, orange is 2, yellow is 3. She was taking this idea of rainbow order and combining it with numerical order and combining it into a new thing. So this is very important, and your child probably shows it in different ways. But what I noticed with her reading is that previous to this, I had taught her the mechanics of reading. That at means cat. So we had worked on that and she knew that. I also told her somewhat separately that I would just point to words and say this says this, such as women. The woman's sign at the women's bathroom says women. And so what I noticed at this milestone is she started to combine these two things. So when she would pick women, before she was spinning it off the first letter, she knew that W was W and that it was women. But then she would stop and look at the sign and try to decode it. She would say W, N. So before I had said I abandoned phonics, but in a way you really don't. You're just handing the keys over to your child to figure it out on their own. The English language has so many rules. I think that getting your child bogged down and trying to memorize all these rules when they don't even understand why they're doing it, I think that's what overwhelms children. I think that's why so many reading programs fail. And so I think this approach, by giving them the purpose and the ability, can come together on their own. And what happened was my daughter just self-taught herself to read. She was always reading words and figuring them out and basically reverse engineering the process. And then as you see all those weird things about English, like the word through, O-U-G-H sounds like ooh, you can just explain some of that as you're going along. And at this point, my daughter was blowing through beginner books. We would do the approach where we would read it with her, you point to the word and just say what it is, and that's it, in a straightforward way. You don't make them try to sound it out. And then you enjoy the books. You talk about the pictures. You talk about the story. You ask them, can you find the word cat every now and then? It should be very easy and very fun. And if they don't like it, put it away. And please don't feel pressure that your child needs to be reading by the time they're 3 1/2. This is if they're interested at all times. And I consider it the adult's responsibility to only do things if you see that your child's interested. If they are not interested, it is the adult's responsibility to do something else. So, I mean, and that's it. This is pretty much the reading program. And I think it's a joy. What I hope you've seen from this is that it's extremely straightforward. So whether or not you do the exact things I said, please do an approach that is very straightforward, that gives the child a lot of assists, that gives them a lot of room to play and make mistakes and be silly. And this idea that misbehavior is growth, that you can use these developmental milestones and their understanding of it to help your child grow in a specific way. And I chose reading as the example, but there's lots of other ways that you can use. And I have activities in my book about math, about how to read a map, practical life skills, such as transferring and pouring things and getting involved in the kitchen, and also other softer skills, which I actually think are much more important: conflict resolution skills, empathy, right versus wrong. You can use this and it can help your child's growth, and it can in turn help your family's dynamic. If your child has a bigger vocabulary, can communicate better, has a better idea of right and wrong, it's going to help your entire family. So that's the idea behind my book about this, which is Misbehavior is Growth. This book only goes up to the age of 3. In this video series, I went up to the age of 3 years, 5 months. So I want to make that clear. Misbehavior is Growth, an Observant Parent's Guide to the Toddler Years. You can find it on all major ebook retailers. You can find a print copy at Amazon. If you can't get it from there, please go to my website. You can get it through PayPal and have it shipped to you. So, and my website, theobservantmom.com, has a summary of all this work. It will have this reading program spelled out for free, line by line. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Come check me out on Facebook as The Observant Mom. Leave a comment for me. Was this helpful? Are you excited about this? And please share this with anyone who might want to teach their child how to read in a joyful way that is quick. Everything I did here, it probably took an hour or so to watch, but it's strung out over 2 years. Like these activities are here and there, 5 to 10 minutes at a time. So thanks for watching.